swear, beware. This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Okay, good Wednesday morning to anybody and everybody. Again, as always, I'm a pissed son of a bitch. Hey, I gotta tell you, and I can't find it. It was sitting right here on my desk. But a guy down in Menard, down in Chester, and I want to tell you, I feel for his family. I feel for his family because it wasn't their fault what he did. The atrocious, the egregious act that he performed on a 10-year-old little girl. But this son of a bitch went to jail for binding up a little gal, 10 years old, raped her, took pictures of her, molested her, and he got 54 years or whatever in Menard. Here it is, right here. Man who raped Swansea girl, little girl, found dead in prison cell. Gary M.J. Michael Groden, 33, was found unresponsive on July the 20th. Now, I do want to say that I am saddened, as everyone is, for Mrs. Groden, the family of this asswipe, no good son of a bitch, because they lost a son. Of course, the rest of us lost an evil, no count, good for nothing, rotten bastard. But this no good son of a bitch, if you didn't know the story, this is a rotten bastard that a 10-year-old Swansea girl bound her with zip ties, raped her, sexually molested her, sexually assaulted her. 10-year-old girl, the girl's still going through therapy. But they discovered dozens of photographs and videos of this young girl being raped by this Groden. It happened between December of 14 and June of 15. Said he would take the victim with plastic ties so she couldn't cover herself, then take pictures of her, and then rape her. What a no-count, disgusting, good-for-nothing, rotten, no-good son of a bitch. I hope you rot in hell. And I just hope, it says they don't know if it's from natural causes. And I got to disagree with Chief Johnson in Swansea, the new chief of Swansea. Nice guy, great professional police officer. But he's quoted as saying, after learning of Grogan's death, Johnson said, the sanctity of life is our most important duty. No, that's not true. You know, not with an asswipe, evil son of a bitch like this. So I got to disagree with you, Chief. A no good son of a bitch like this. Now, you know, the good thing is, whoever did this, and I'm sure it was somebody, whoever did it, we owe them a little gratitude. And whoever it is, if we find out, I'll be more than happy. And it's going to piss some of you off, but I don't care because, see, put your daughter in this position. Don't put this little girl who's out of sight, out of mind. Put your little daughter in this position. And if you wouldn't do the same thing I say I would do, or even worse, then you're a piss poor parent. And I don't give a damn you're in my district. I'm so tired of people telling me what not to say because I'm losing votes. Don't give a damn, people. Of course, again, I'd like to win, but I'm not going to change who I am to pander for a vote. You heard me before. I'm not going to kiss your ass, and I'm not going to cut your grass. I'm going to go to Springfield and fight for you if I'm fortunate enough to be elected. If I'm not fortunate enough to be elected, then I don't have to be bothered with that crap in Springfield, and I'll live a good life, whatever life I've got left. But this ass-wipe bastard son of a bitch raped this girl. Got 56 years, see? Rape should be life. Rape should be life. Actually, I would say death, but I could never get anybody to go along with that in Springfield. I don't know if I could get them to go along with life. But I gotta say, whoever, if someone did that, and we'll find out, I'm thinking out loud, of course, I just may send them a $500 check for their commissary, because whoever did this did society a favor, because a no good, rotten son of a bitch that would bind and rape a 10-year-old girl. I got to say to that, what a piece of crap. And again, I feel for his family. It's not his family's fault. But not for him, not a bit for him. Had the Democratic Convention. Hey, lines are always open. People bitch because they can't get through. I'll stop moaning and groaning and bitching. You can get through today if you'd like. We are America's voice of freedom, definitely the patriot. You can call toll-free, 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. You can call and tell me I'm a no-good son of a bitch, that I'm a rotten bastard. You won't be able to say anything about me that I haven't said about me. Because, see, I know who I am. I know my limitations. But at the end of the day, I'm not a rapist. I'm not a killer. I'm not a dope pusher. I'm a decent person who's made mistakes in their life. And you've heard me before. I'm going to continue to make mistakes because I'm going to continue to try to strive to make this country better. I'm going to try to strive for me to make a difference. If I can make a friend along the way, fine. But I'm going to make a difference no matter what happens, no matter who it pisses off. I'm going to be with the governor today, or I'm going to go see the governor. He's going to be out in East Belleville. And I don't know if he's even going to talk to me, because I got a few things I'd like to say to him. And like my face, they're not pretty. They're probably pretty ugly. But I don't hold any man any higher in esteem than I did my father. So there's no man. And you people think about it. Here comes a governor. Here comes the president. Who gives a damn? They crap and piss just like we do as men. They're no better than we are. They're in a better position than we are in life. Maybe make more money than we make. But they're not better off. They're not better off in the long run because they have to be exposed to what they are. We the people, the normal people, we're better off than these politicians. You see Sprague walking down the street. You see Bear Civic. You see Kern. And Kern, I just want to know. I'm just curious. I'm just asking you. Are you a big supporter of the LGBT? Now it's the LGBTQ community, and I guess that's for queer. And you make some queer moves, Kern, up there at the courthouse. So I'm just asking. And I don't know. Mark Kern, do you have any homosexual tendencies? I'm just asking. I don't know. But I'm wondering, and I'm wondering out loud, and I'm wondering for a reason. Do you have homosexual tendencies? Mark, sweet cakes, Kern. And one day we'll all find out how he got his name years ago. Sweet cakes. I didn't make that name up. Hell, I'm not that smart. Some of the names I made up, but wasn't that one. I did make up the one, Bob, I'd rather piss in my pants than piss in a urinal Sprague. Because it's alleged, and I'm asking, and I don't know. Do you get drunk, you idiot, ass man, my ass, fishing son of a bitch? You need to go fish and maybe not come back. I don't mean die, just stay out there with the fish. They deserve you, we don't. But I'm just asking, Sprague, do you get drunk pass out and piss in your drawers. And then Princess Patty. And you guys got to go to my website, to my Facebook, The Grim Reaper, fans of The Grim Reaper. I've got a really, really sexy picture of Princess Patty, roly-poly Patty Sprague. You'll laugh your ass off. See, they give me the idea. Last year, they put Trump's hair on my head. Actually, they thought it was funny. I thought it made me look better. So thank you guys for spending the $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in the primary that you wasted. But where are we going next? Oh, the Shrine. Got calls on the Shrine. People are livid about Mark Maximus Vaginus Pussy Boy Eckert, the mayor of Belleville. They want to know, and I've given them the number to City Hall. People have called and called and called. They don't understand why nothing's being done. Now, this Keller Group, I believe, it's alleged that they're blaming the engineering group, which is a professional group, I believe, Impact. They know what they're doing. They know what they've got into. They've got one or two people trying to construct that brew house, that Hoff brew house. Going to be a big deal, wasn't it, Eckert? A great big deal. 5 hotels, 4 restaurants, convenience store, soccer parks. Going to be and have it all. It was going to be done this early summer. Now they say it's going to be done late fall. I'm putting good money up that it won't be done before Christmas, if then. But you see how these asswipes are. And you good people, it's election time coming up. You got to remember this. You got to remember they've promised for 20, 30, 40 years this democratic culture of corruption in St. Clair County has promised you guys everything and giving you nothing. But this debacle out there by the Shrine, that's not going to be the only thing that happens to Kern, our Eckert, our Sprague, our Beresivik. The leaders of St. Clair County have to be destroyed. Politically, of course. You know the direction we're going. I believe 2016 is a perfect storm. I believe people are going to get out. It's the Trump phenomena. I believe people are going to get out and they're going to vote their conscience. They're not going to vote parties. And you've heard me 1,000 times. I'm so pissed why in a local election, in a county election, we have to have party division. There's got to be a Democratic Party, got to be a Republican Party. In the Republican Party, I got to say, those idiots, and again, not the rank and file, not the true blue, the good and decent Republican people, not the rank and file. I'm talking about the Republican leadership, the Doug Jamesons, the Mary Turdman, the Bar Viviano, and John West. I got to throw him in there. I don't like that son of a bitch, and I know he don't like me, so it don't really make me any difference. But here, and we've got Congressman Boss. Congressman, I'm going to have to refer people to your office because I'm getting call after we expose this Doug Jameson from Sangamon County. And again, you just got to go to Sangamon County, the circuit clerk, to find out everything he's been involved in. But they want to censor me because I expose this ignorant son of a bitch. Now I've got Mothers Against Drunk Driving. They're calling me. They want to get involved. They're mad at Congress. And they shouldn't be mad at Congressman Bost. It's not his fault. We've got the Women Against Domestic Abuse. They've called me. And it's not the congressman's fault at this time. But apparently Doug Jameson wears a Boss shirt around and supporting Bost. I think, Congressman, the best thing for you to do is denounce this no-good son of a bitch. Because he's giving you a bad name that I don't know if you deserve. I've got the mothers that are against the no child support, where Jameson owed over $100,000. People wouldn't pay his child support. I don't understand. I don't understand how the Republicans can be associated with him. Now, I know they don't like me because I cuss them out. I know they don't like me because I expose this asswipe bastard, Doug Jameson. But I got to say, Congressman Bost, we forwarded him the record of Doug Jameson. He knows the situation. And Congressman, I think it behooves you, Congressman Bost. And I hear he's a few points ahead in the polling for the congressional seat in the 12th congressional district in the state of Illinois. I hear he's a few points ahead. And I say vote the person, not the party. I don't give a damn if you're a Republican. If you see a Democrat that you think's going to do better for you and your family, vote for him. If you're a Democrat and think a Republican's going to do better, vote for him. But I will tell you what, we're the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. We're a patriotic movement. We're not a political organization. We've got Democrats, we've got Republicans, we've got men, women, black and white, and we've united together to stop this evil, this 40, 50-year run, this culture of corruption, this democratic culture of corruption in St. Clair County. And I think we've got a chance to destroy these bastards. Politically, of course. I think the good Democrats out there. I think the good Republicans out there. I think they're going to vote the person. I think they're going to listen to our philosophy for the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. Vote the person, not the party. You don't have to vote for some asswipe just because he's a Democrat. You don't have to vote for some asswipe just because he's a Republican. Hell, vote for me. I'm an asswipe and I'm an independent. I don't give a damn about party affiliation. Most of the people don't. You've heard me time and time again. The only people that benefit from the Democratic organization, the only people that benefit from the Republican organization are the 5% of the Democratic people who control the organization, are the 5% of the Republicans who control the organization. It's a shame. The 90 to 95% of us never benefit from our politicians. We never benefit from any public service because these son of a bitchers are too busy taking care of their family, taking care of their friends. We've seen it happen in every town. And there's a lot of good public servants elected to positions. And you guys know who they are. Those are the people that get elected that do for the entire community. Not just for their family, not just for their friends, but for everyone. That's the name of the game. That's what public service is all about. That's what public service is all about. It's about taking care of us, the people. We, the people, not them, the politicians, taking care of us, the people of St. Clair County. Hey, I got to say, I'm out cutting some weeds at one of our transmitter sites because you got to make sure that the weeds don't get up to the towers because it charts the towers out. And before I went, I had a shirt on, had some pants. I wasn't sweating. I'm getting out of an air-conditioned car. And here's a gentleman that works for Local 100, works out of Local 100, Labor Local 100. And he says, "Hey, how you doing, sir?" I said, "Fine." We talked a few minutes. And this gentleman said, "Hey, can I offer you a soda or a bottle of water?" Now, this guy's out there cutting grass, sweating his ass off, looks like he's about ready to pass out, busting his ass, working for, I believe, the township out there, a governmental position, or it's a union worker working in a governmental position. And this guy, I don't know what he was making an hour, but whatever it was, he deserved 3 times as much. And me as a taxpayer, I would have no problem paying him 3 times as much. This gentleman asked me if I'd like to have a water or a soda. I'm getting out of an air-conditioned car. I'm not sweating. This guy's sweating his ass off, busting his ass. You know where his bosses are at, don't you? You know where the politicians are at, don't you? They're sitting up there in 65-degree air conditioning in their suit and tie, making 3 or 4 times what this hard-working laborer's making, and they don't give a damn. I just want to say what a great guy. I won't mention his name because I don't want to get him in trouble. You'll get in trouble if Bob Romanik likes you. You got to be a bad guy. But I want to salute him. I want to salute every laborer out of the Local 100, every laborer throughout this country, every bricklayer, every truck driver, every warehouseman, every steel worker, everybody that works in the fields, the farmers. Nobody ever gives these guys any accolades. Nobody, again, names a bridge or a street after them. They name it after the asswipe politicians. But let me tell you people one thing. If I go to Springfield, I'm going to be crazier than I am now. I'm going to present legislation. I never want a bridge, a street, anything named after an asswipe politician, including me. I want it named after somebody that's done something constructive, somebody that's given their sweat, giving their blood, the hardworking men and women of this great United States. That's who needs to be recognized, not me as a state representative. They can take that title and shove it up their ass. They can take the governor's title and shove it up his ass, and they can take Madigan's title and shove it up his ass, so I'm an equal opportunity political hater. The hell with these political organizations, people. Don't let them sway you. Don't let them tell you you got to vote Democrat. Don't let them tell you you got to vote Republican. Don't let anybody tell you how to vote. That's a right that our brave military heroes, past, present, future, have fought and died. Some have died to give us the right to live free, to choose free, to be free. Just don't get on their plantations. There's a lot of white people on the political plantation. And we're going to talk about the black community after the break. And again, I'm sure I'm going to piss some people off. But, you know, when I sit here and when I get up in the morning, when I decide to say something, I'm going to say it. I don't worry about the ramifications because I tell everyone. You hear people that say they don't give a damn, but they do. Bob Romanik, on the other hand, when I say I don't give a damn, I don't give a damn. We've got a caller. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Yes, my name is Lillian Schneider, and I wanted to make a comment about the Shrine complex going on. You know, you hear everybody, we're all talking, this ain't done, this ain't done. I had a letter in the paper with a list of all the things that should be open by now, and they're not. But there is another main thing. You always hear these tree activists, don't cut down trees. Do they know how many trees was cut down out there and how fast that water is going to run down that hill and flood with the trees not stopping the water flow? Where are all these people that should be out there complaining about that? Because if this project doesn't make it, all those trees are gone, and they were big old trees. So do we not care? Or should I say the people do not care about the trees unless it's a tree that they're worried about? But all these trees, that was like a forestry out there with all those trees. Well, Lily, I know they had to cut some down.
Hey, Lillian, here I think they've got a water retention. I think they've got a water retention area out there. But and I like you, Lillian, but I got to say, I'm more concerned in this county. I'm more concerned in this city. I'm more concerned in this state and country about people eating, more concerned about the terrorist activities. And I don't want to make a bad light of this, but I give a damn less about a tree in this day and age. I know what you're saying, and I appreciate that, but I believe they've got a water retention area. But let me tell you, Lillian, you know as well as I do that nothing is going to be successful there. They're going to have that brew house restaurant.
If it ever opens.
Well, they'll eventually get it open because they're begging for investors right now. Somebody had contacted me through a third party and asked if I'd be interested in putting up $300,000 to invest in that. And I said, are you crazy? But see, I gotta say, Lillian, for all you good people in Belleville, come next election, you need to get rid of Pussy Boy Maximus Vaginus Mark Eckert, because I don't know if he's a bad guy or just a complete idiot, but he doesn't know what he's doing. I've talked to construction people. They went by there. They've given me a report. They haven't got anything done. And a proper construction job, Lillian, and everybody in Belleville, there would be people in there doing the concrete, people in there, plumbers, electricians in there that have drywall coming up. If you people drive by that Shrine project. I
do.
Yeah, I understand, and you see what's going on. Nothing's going on.
But the idea of it is there was so many things that was supposed to be open. I think my next FOIA will be to fill out the yearly review thing. When I was an alderman, I started a thing that all these developments, some of them were going fly by night, and we didn't even know it. We never got our money back or anything. So now they're supposed to once a year on the anniversary of their development agreement send out and make sure they have the right amount of employees and all what falls into the development agreement.
Lillian, thank you.
So much goes. It was supposed to be open a year ago. So, are they complying with the development agreement, or are they?
They're not, Lillian, they're not complying with anything. You've been around a long time. They're not complying. The people in Belleville, the people in St. Clair County, and I got to tell all you, you piss me off. You got to get off your ass, people. You got to get off your ass. You let this ignorant, stupid, no-count, good-for-nothing son of a bitch, fat-ass bastard, Mark Maximus Vaginus Eckert, you let him screw up Belleville. I have businesses in Belleville. I come through Belleville all the time. Belleville's not safe. Hell, I can get robbed going to the schnook store after I work out at 9 o'clock at night. You can get robbed. But Eckert says it's safe. It's not safe. It's not going to be safe in Belleville. It's never going to be safe in Belleville again. And it's not because of the black folks coming up. It's because of the lack of leadership. It's because everybody, the decent black, the decent white, they're moving out, just like they moved out of East St. Louis, just like they moved out of Washington Park, because there was nothing there but violence and crime and destruction. And that's what we're having in Belleville. The decent blacks come out of East St. Louis when they get the opportunity to come off the plantation to get a job that's not political, a job that they don't have to kiss somebody's ass. The proud blacks, they don't move to Belleville. They're going to Swansea, to Shiloh, to O'Fallon, to Lebanon. They're bypassing Belleville. Not the black thugs, not the white crooks. They're coming to Belleville by the droves. And in another 5 years, you take my word and you take this to the bank. Another 5 years, this will be another East St. Louis. Not because of the black people, not because of the proud blacks, but because of the crap whites, the criminal whites, and the thug blacks. That's all that's going to be left, because nobody, black, white, Hispanic, nobody that has anything going for them, nobody that cares about their family, their safety, their community, the progress of their community, nobody that cares about any of those things will be living in Belleville. Belleville will be another East St. Louis. We can just incorporate it and let it move. And again, it's not a black-white thing. It's a lack of leadership. And Mark Eckert and Mark Sweet Cakes Kern, God Sprague Barasivic, we can hold them all accountable, because these are the bastards, the democratic culture of corruption. These are the bastards that have been around for the last 20, 30, 40 years, leading us to all this financial and criminal devastation. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, your guardian of the First Amendment, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Let's take care of our public service here, and then we'll get back to East St. Louis. I want to talk about the inauguration of Hillary Clinton, about Black Lives Matter, which really pisses me off. And I believe all lives matter. Black lives matter as much as anybody, but so do white lives and Hispanic lives. And it got nasty at the Democratic Convention, and we'll speak about that. And again, people are going to say, I'm a racist. I'm not a racist. I'm talking racial issues, because if we don't address racial issues, they'll never get solved. The Jeff Staley Safety Foundation, their 10th and final Memorial Poker Run to be held July the 30th, 2016. You can sign up at the M&M Custom Cycles at 506 Vandalia Street in Collinsville, Illinois, or you can call 618-345-9181. Back the Blue, a barbecue luncheon to be held Saturday, August the 13th. Lunch will start at 11 a.m. It'll be held at the Smithton Firehouse. Barbecue lunch will be served to all police officers and their families. The public is welcome. Come show your support. The radio station will be there, and it's sponsored by the Smithton Fire Company. Cancer benefit coming up this Saturday, July the 30th for Linda Laham Franz at Wolf's Tavern in New Athens, Illinois. If you have any questions or concerns, this lady, 55-year-old, has 3 children, 7 grandchildren. We want to help her fight through the chemotherapy. And everybody needs help. I don't give a damn what kind of insurance you have. These hospital bills, these doctor bills will devastate you financially. If you'd like to get involved, or if you're concerned, you can contact Tammy Pruitt at 618-978-7012. Free. Our great friends at the Signal Hill United Methodist Church, located at 95th in West Main, July the 30th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Free school backpacks, school supplies while they last. There's going to be food, fun, and I want to thank Velma Thompson. From the Signal Hill Church. A very nice lady, great people there at United Methodist Church in Signal Hill. Thank you guys very much, and hopefully that'll be very, very successful. Coming up, free lunch, benefit lunch. Says mark your calendars at the Roadhouse, Texas Roadhouse, July the 28th to receive a free lunch from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Local law enforcement officers will be serving you lunch. Simply leave a donation at your table, and 100% of the donations will go to the Special Olympics of Illinois. Great group of guys. I want to thank all of our police officers, and we're going to get into that. I'm going to thank all of our police officers. There's some that aren't perfect. There's some that are bums with badges, the vast minority, but there are a few bums with badges. There's a few bad priests. There's a few bad lawyers. There's a few bad there's a whole lot of bad politicians. But for the professional law enforcement, our professional first responders, as our hardworking laborers, I'm going to salute you. I'm going to give you the accolades that you deserve, not the criticism that you don't deserve. There's always a black sheep in the family. Let's don't hold all our good law enforcement, all our first responders responsible for a couple asswipe son of a bitches. But that will be held July the 28th, and I want to personally thank, and O'Fallon's got a great group of police officers, Detective Brian Gimble from the O'Fallon Police Department. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact Brian Gimble, Detective Brian Gimble at 618-624-9553. Their goal is to raise $10,000. And they've already got some businesses. We'll get involved. We'll donate, guys, so we'll be getting a hold of you. And you guys tell Mayor Graham out there, the great Mayor of O'Fallon, he's doing a great job. And the surrounding community. Mayor Vanier out in Shiloh does a great job also. So Mayor Vanier and Mayor Graham, thank you guys very much for all you do for your communities. You guys are true public servants. The St. Clair County 4-H Project Show Schedule will be held August the 5th through the 7th at Shreve Park in Mascoutah. If you have any questions or concerns, it'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You're going to have a sheep show, dairy show, goat show. Hey, you bastard politicians, stay away from Mascoutah that week. I don't want you anywhere around the goats and the sheeps, because I know what you ignorant bastards are like. They'll have all kind of rabbit shows, swine. Whoa! The politicians are going to be there. They're having a swine show at 6 p.m. on Friday, so I guess that's when all the politicians, the rotten bastard, the swine politicians come out. Not to make light of the St. Clair County 4-H. Going to be a great event Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, August the 5th, 6th, and 7th at Shreve Park in Mascoutah. We'll be out there. And Tori Waller, president of the Livestock Boosters of St. Clair County, thank you very much for that information. St. Elizabeth's Church Picnic, Marine, Illinois, family-style chicken dinner coming up this Sunday, July the 31st. Refreshments, basket stands, country store, bingo from 12:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Come rain or shine, everyone's welcome. Adults $10, children $4. That's to be held at the St. Elizabeth's Church, their picnic in Marine, Illinois. The Summerfield Lions are holding their annual tractor pull this Saturday, July the 30th. Starts at 6 p.m. Antique and classic tractors will compete in a plow pull event. A full menu of food and ice-cold beer will be served. Mike Rickner, thank you very much, from the 3R Farms, LLC in Trenton. Thank you for that information. If you'd like to get involved or need any information, you can call our good friend Mike at 618-410-1135. You can pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper Radio. Go to our streaming site, insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling, for the best of all three of our stations. You can listen to my repeat performance every day, Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock p.m. And now broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every night at the stroke of midnight. Please like us on Facebook at KQQZ 1190 AM or our sister station KZQZ 1430 AM. Go to my personal Facebook page, Fans of the Grim Reaper, where you can get all the political satire. You can see the new pictures, cartoons of Roly-Poly Patty Sprague, of Mary Turdman and O'Fallon, Bar Viviano. If you want some good entertainment, some of it's a little X-rated, go to Fans of the Grim Reaper. Also, you can go to Bob Romanik for State Representative Facebook. And as always, don't forget the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition on Facebook. We've got a little trouble with our On This Date, so we've been getting On This Date from St. Louis the last few days. Actually, it's been quite interesting. So on this date, July the 27th, throughout all these years in St. Louis's history, this is what's happening. On this date, July the 27th, 1817 in St. Louis, the first steamboat arrived in St. Louis. On this date in St. Louis, July the 27th, 1825, the town of Lebanon, Illinois was laid out by William McKinley and Thomas Ray. Lieutenant Governor of Illinois, McKinley, built the hotel veranda. There was a stagecoach stop from St. Louis to Vandalia route. The settlement sprang up around the hotel. On this date, July the 27th, 1894, William Harry Dickerson Duncan was hanged at the county courthouse in Clayton, Missouri. He was convicted of killing Officer James Brady at Stark's Saloon on 11th Street in 1890. On this date, July the 27th, 1904, Mayor Rollo Wells became the first mayor in St. Louis to get a new automobile. The touring car was a 70th automobile registered in St. Louis in 1904. On this date, July the 27th, 1954, the Cahokia Downs racetrack opened. The lights went out between the third and fourth races on opening night. Cahokia Downs would host racing action until it was destroyed by fire in 1979. On this date, July the 27th, 1972, the McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle made its first flight in St. Louis. On this date, July the 27th, 1977, Ross DePerina purchased the Blues. That's what happened on this date, July the 27th, throughout our St. Louis history. I gotta say, we got a lot of response on Eddie Lee Jackson. And I don't want to cast a bad light on Eddie Lee. He's retiring. Did a admirable job, I'll have to say. I don't want to cast a bad light on Eddie because he's no better or no worse than the rest of these politicians up in Springfield. But he sends out this propaganda sheet, as all the state reps, all the state senators do. And it says here there's 28,000 copies. Let's figure 30,000 copies. Bulk mails at 40 cents. That's 12,000 in printing. It cost about $15,000 to send this out in the 114th district. There's 115 or 118 districts in Illinois, and then all the state senatorial districts. We don't have money to pay our bills, people, and these politicians are sending out propaganda that we're paying for. But hey, it's on recycled paper and it's soybean ink. We should be happy about that. Sure, we printed by authority of the state of Illinois. I promise you one thing, if I'm elected, I'll introduce legislation. There'll be no franking privileges. If I want to talk to my constituents, I can go to their area. I can go to their communities, to their town hall meetings. I could talk to them. They can call me up. I don't need to send out this propaganda, especially especially if it's the cost of the taxpayers. That's bull crap. We're going to stop it. We're going to stop a lot of things. The Trump phenomenon, I'm not endorsing Trump at this time, but that Trump phenomena is going all throughout this great country. All throughout this great country. Got Ed Cockrell just come in. I got a couple of other things, but I do want to talk to Ed. We're going to have tomorrow and Friday, after my show, Ed Cockrell will be here, so mark that on your calendar. Tomorrow and Friday from 11 to 12, he's going to be taking any and all questions. You can call in. I won't give you hell. I moderate it. I'm not going to be talking. Ed's going to do all the talking because I'm an idiot when it comes to politics, let alone taxes. But Ed's going to be here to talk about your taxes, talk about how to get them lowered, if they can legally be lowered, anything to do with taxes. You won't have to go to a tax expert and pay a tax expert. Thursday and Friday at 11 o'clock right here on KQQZ 1190 AM and KZQZ 1430 AM, Mr. Ed Cockrell, our candidate for Board of Review, a great man, a man that he's been on the show so much, people, and he will tell you when he wasn't a candidate for county office, he would tell people in East St. Louis and Lebanon, every place that wasn't his district, and he lives in the New Athens area, he would take time to give them the information. And Ed's made a lot of friends and made a positive difference in our tax situation in St. Clair County. And when he's elected to the Board of Review, I guarantee you, at that point, you'll get a fair shake. You won't get a deal, but you'll get a fair shake because Ed wants to be fair to the county, but also to the taxpayers, to you good, hardworking taxpayers. Real quick, I got to say, I'm somewhat offended last night at the National Convention, the Democratic National Convention, and I know I'm going to have some black folks say, hey, there he goes with that racial crap. I was offended, and there's been black police officers killed. I was totally offended by Hillary Clinton, and I know it's going to piss off some of my Democratic supporters, but I got to say it. When she had Michael Brown's mother there, when she had some other mothers there, and they say they were victim of police shootings. Yes, they were victim of police shootings, but they deserved it. Where was the mothers? Where was the families of the fallen police officers that protects Hillary Clinton every day, that protects me, that protects you? There was not one iota, one word about the mothers of the families of the fallen police officers in Dallas, in Baton Rouge, and all throughout this great state of Illinois. And the proud black community will understand what I'm saying. I didn't mind last night when the Black Lives Matter, some fat skanky lady, and boy, she was skanky, got half a hairdo, and she was black, all the whites to the back. And I got to say, I was a little offended because there's white people that are concerned about Black Lives Matter. And I'm concerned about Black Lives Matter, but I'm concerned about every life matter. But they say the blacks get to the back. The whites get to the back. If it had been me, I'd say, hey, honey, hey, you ugly skank, I'm trying to help the cause. And you're going to insult me, a proud white man trying to help the proud black community? But that didn't piss me off as much as not getting in recognition. But Michael Brown's mother's up there with a flyer and waving her hand. Hell, Darren Wilson, the officer that legally and rightfully so killed Michael Brown, he got no recognition. The families of the people in Dallas got no recognition. The families of the officers in Baton Rouge got no recognition. But the criminal's family gets recognition. That shows you what this country's coming to. Mr. Ed Cockrell, we're not going to take a break. He just walked in. Ed, I got to ask you one question. With this TIF situation, I'm not real versed on this TIF situation. Now, if money comes out to go to TIF, tax increment financing, and then we need more money to run the county, we, the taxpayers, get stuck with more money, don't we?
Yeah, usually the local taxing districts, the school districts, and everybody else, the villages, the cities, the park districts, fire districts, they have to increase their tax rate. That's correct.
So you're telling me when people say, and they got always for these grants and tax incentives, they always got a slick acronym. But when we say, hey, they're going to get $4 million for this TIF project, then we as taxpayers, we have to pay more money to make up that $4 million that they take out of the normal taxing body to pay that TIF money. Is that true?
Well, we could have a whole hour-long discussion on TIF and not really get to the bottom of it, Bob. But the bottom line is if you have a piece of property and that has a certain assessment on it, any improvements on that property is where the assessment on that TIF goes to the developer or the city or whatever TIF, however it's worked. Because you may have some people in this county that pretty well 100% of their tax bill is paid to the TIF district.
I've got property in Washington Park. I paid $49,000. $48,000 of that $49,000 go to TIF. Not hardly any. $800 goes to the school district, where it all should go to the school district.
Right.
But, I got to say, I personally believe that this TIF is somewhat criminal. These politicians take this TIF money and they give it to businesses who in turn support them in the next election. And that's just my take on it.
I'm going to say that some of that probably does happen, Bob. I'm not a TIF expert. I do know that it is a very questionable deal whether or not TIF is acceptable sometimes.
Yeah.
But what I'm here to do is first of all, I want to thank you for giving me a couple hours tomorrow and Friday. I'll be on for an hour each day, starting at 11 o'clock right after your show. And we're going to take calls, and I'm going to try to explain to people about exemptions, their tax bills, anything relative to property taxes and assessment. And the timing is impeccable because everything is about to be published and notifications are about to be sent out about your assessments for 2016, payable in 2017. Every township in St. Clair County, except for 3, will have to have their request for a hearing filed by September the 6th, and I think that's the day after Labor Day, if I'm not for sure. I don't know when Labor Day is. I think it's the 5th, but I'm not for sure. Lebanon Township is 4 days before that. That's September the 2nd. And Belleville and St. Clair Township, which is 2 of the largest townships in the county, are not closed yet, so that'll be at some later date.
Okay.
But everybody throughout the county, make sure you call in tomorrow. If you can't, call my cell number, 618-406-5767. I'll be on this show. I'll be on this radio station tomorrow at 11 till noon and Friday from 11 to noon. And then Mike Pittner down at Nanny Lou's there on West Main has allowed me to come in there with some forms and everything. If somebody can't call in on a radio show or it's not convenient, we'll be there at Nanny Lou's at 20th and West Main from 10 till noon on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Yeah, so come in there if you want to talk to me. I'll have my laptop out. We'll see what all we can get done and try to find out what we can do for you.
Okay, Ed, I'll tell you what, I appreciate that, but I want to preface this. You are running for Board of Review. You are the most qualified person ever to run for Board of Review, and that's me saying that, not you blowing your own horn. But, Ed, you were doing this when you weren't a county candidate for Board of Review, so I'm going to let people know. Don't let his opposition, or don't let the Democratic culture of corruption say, now look, they're doing something because he's running for election. Ed Cockrell's been doing this for the last 3 or 4 years since I've known him, since he's been coming on the show. He gives his personal number out, people, to everybody in St. Clair County. And of course, he's running. Of course, he'd like to get elected, but he's doing this. But he cares for people. He wants to make sure that everybody has a fair shake. And Ed, I want to salute you for that, and the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, which you are a proud member. We're happy to have you on board, and I think this election is going to make a hell of a difference for the good people of St. Clair County.
And thank you, Bob, and I appreciate that.
Well, it's only because it's true.
And I have tried my hardest throughout the years to help people. And by the way, if my opponent or any of her supporters want to listen into the show and learn a little something, that'll be more than they probably already know. So that's a little bit of a shot, I guess, well, but that's true. I'll put my credentials up to anybody around about tax assessments and value and things like that. The other thing is, Bob, I watched the audacity and unmitigated gall of the administration the other night, the current administration, and how it cares less about your tax dollars and how they're spent. And the oversight plan, of course, went down in flames again, but that's okay. Me and 9 others stood up, and and I told Mr. Kern, I said, you may be entitled to your opinion, which we all are, but you're not entitled to your version of the facts. And the facts are we lose $12 to $15 million every year, $1.5 million to $2 million cash out of the budget. How many more officers could we put on the street, Bob? Sheriff's deputies. How many? how nice a raises could we give instead of our standard 1% to 2% to our, there are some good hardworking county employees out there. I don't want everybody to think that there's not. And, how much more could we do as far as services to the taxpayers to make sure they get a fair share of the tax monies?
Here, Ed, I'm going to ask you, and we're running out of time, and I don't like the no good son of a bitch because he's part of the culture of corruption, but why do you think, and I know you don't know, but why do you think that Mark Kern is so livid about having Rich Soje, who really knows nothing about the airport, who knows nothing about businesses? I mean, he's got 5, they bitch about me, and that's the top line. Hey, you're hanging with Romanik. He owns a property that adult club's on that I lease out. He's got 5 clubs, a gambling den, a dope den, and 2 nightclubs that have 50 civil rights suits against them in the last 30 years. Why in the hell do you think they have to push? Why wouldn't they want you, a person that's elected by the people of St. Clair County? Why do they want to put somebody in it's not held accountable to anybody, that doesn't get elected? I don't understand that.
Bob, a main reason Mark Kern said that this oversight concept or the legislation that was written and proposed by Frank Helligenstein and myself, and I want to thank him for taking time to do that, is because he wanted to keep politics out of the airport. No, I'm serious. And the sad part of it is most of him and his entourage there on the county board believe that. But I said, well, that was nice for me to learn that politics is involved at the Public Building Commission level. Yeah. I was insulted, Bob, and the taxpayers of this county should be insulted as well, because they're pretty well just saying, we'll run things the way we want, and if you don't like it, that's too bad.
There you go. That's the way it's been. That's the way it's going to be. We've got to go tomorrow from 11 to 12, Friday from 11 to 12, and then Saturday at Nanny Lou's at 20th and West Main from 10 to noon. Mr. Ed Cockrell, he is the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition's candidate for Board of Review, but that's not why he's doing this. He's doing this like he's been doing for the last 4, 5, 6 years. He's doing this to help you good people, Democrats, Republicans, independents, black, white, men and women. He doesn't give a damn. He wants everybody to have a fair shake, and that's what we need. We need more public servants like Ed Cockrell in office. We need to get rid of these rotten bastard politicians. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical radio at its finest, and we are, as always, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Come on back tomorrow. Groundhog Day over and over. People say it's the same every day. Our lives are the same, and our lives are the same. But it's better to have the same life every day than no life, no day. So let's continue, people. I think the perfect storm in 2016, the perfect storm is about to hit St. Clair County. I think the good people, black, white, men, women, Democrats, Republicans, they understand our message. They understand the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition's message. And we're going to put it out day in and day out. And by the way, 60th and West Main for signs, Carl Officer, our great candidate for coroner, very well qualified, Ed Cockrell, myself. We've got all of our lecture material. Anybody wants to come by at 60th and West Main. You can't miss all the flags and the patriotic trappings. Come by, talk to us, get some information, get some banners, sign up to help, because together we can unite. We can expose these asswipe, low-life, bottom-feeding son of a bitches, these political parasitical punks, these perverted punks that we call politicians. And together, we can destroy them, have a great time. Let's have a political picnic and stomp the roaches, kill the ants, and destroy the politicians. Politically, of course, for the ants and the roaches. Well, the politicians too. Politically, of course. Right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny farm.